Hello, rockratzero here, coming to you today on BremSter's channel to solve a puzzle called XOV to Chicago by the Bard. Perhaps that's 10:05 to Chicago. That's what we're going to go with. 10:05 to Chicago. It's a train time or something. What we got going on here is an extended Sudoku. So in regular Sudoku, we're going to put the digits 1 through 9 in every box, row, and column without repeating. Here we have the ability to use the digits 0 through 9. We're going to put the digits 0 through 9 in each box, row, and column, but in each box, row, and column, we're going to leave out 1 because they won't all fit. There's only space for 9 of them. So we're just going to put 9 of the 10 digits in each box, in each row, and in each column. We're told that it is okay for us to repeat a digit that's left out. So like, for instance, here, if we use a 1, or if we skip a 1, we could also skip the 1 in this box. We could repeat the left out digit. We can also vary the left out digit. It doesn't have to be the same. If this leaves out a 1, it's okay for us to leave out a 2 here, leave out a 0 here, leave out a 9 here, for instance. But the way that we're going to solve this puzzle is with these X's and V's. The V's add to 5. There's a Roman numeral for 5, so this is going to be, for instance, a 4 and a 1 would solve it, or a 3 and a 2. Those are both ways that we can add to 5. This X, it could be 1 or 9, it could be 2 and 8. But we're told that in this puzzle, all of the X's and V's are given, which means if I put a 2 here, I cannot put a 3 there because there's no little y. And likewise, I can't put an 8 there because there's no little x. If you have two digits beside each other that add to 5 or 10, we have to have an x or a v. The only other rule is these white dots, the Kropki here, they are consecutive dots, meaning if there was a 2 here, that's not 2. There's a 5 here, we have to put like a 6 there, 5, 6. I think that we can't do 2, 3, for instance, because there's no V. So I was going to put 2, 3 as my example, but I think that won't work, even though those are consecutive. I think we need a V there. So I think we have to be a little bit careful. We can't specifically use 2, 3, or 4, 6 on these, I believe. I think that's right. Well, we couldn't use 4, 6 anyway. What am I talking about? We can't use 2, 3 on this, I think, is the only thing. The only special thing. All right, so those are the rules. It's a negative constraint XV puzzle, but we can use the digits 0 through 9. I'm going to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Okay, the very first thing is quite obvious here. That pattern right there is a problem if you have a normal 1 through 9 Sudoku. In normal 1 through 9 Sudoku, there are only 2 ways to add to 5. You get 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, the 2 ways that I put in my example. In this Sudoku, we have a third way to add to 3, and that is with the digits 0 and 5. So there are 3 ways to add to 5. All 3 ways are going to be used in this column. All 6 of those digits are going to be used up, the digits 0 to 5. But this domino is connected to an X, and that means that this cell cannot be 0 because then that cell would have to be 10. We can't use that. And if that was 5 to add to 10, that would also have to be 5, and that's not going to work. So the X dominoes that are, or the V dominoes that are connected to X cannot be 0 at 5. So we got a 0, 5 there. And the same thing happens over here, we can see, right? So this is going to be a 0, 5. And the rest of these in those columns are going to be the 2 normal ways to get to 5. And anytime you have a puzzle like this with X's and V's, we have to distinguish somehow. The puzzle has to let us distinguish between these two flavors. The way that that's going to happen looks like with these two dots. So that's probably going to happen pretty late in the puzzle. So I think that the way that we can do this is to color this. What I've done is I've colored this green. Now I know that this domino is either going to be the digits 2 and 3 or the digits 1 and 4. I don't know which way it's going to be, but I do know that this one is going to be the opposite. So if this is a 1, 4, that's 2, 3. If that's 2, 3, that's 1, 4. I don't know which way is which, but I know they're opposite, so I'm going to color them to distinguish that. And I'm going to extend that color into my X's because the X's have the same property. They split into two different choices. If this is 2, 3, that X is 7, 8. If this is 1, 4, that X is 6, 9. 6 or 9. We don't know which way, but we do know that they will correlate with their low digit partner. Now in this column, we can see that that digit also has to be high. It has to be a 6, 7, or 8. And we can notice that the digits that's going to be left out of this column is going to be one of the high digits. We don't know which one. It's 6, 7, 8, or 9. In this column, we've got the digits 0 through 5 and 3 of 6, 7, 8, or 9. I think the goal is going to be to take this coloring and connect it with this side of the grid and get the color onto these dots, and that's going to tell us how to solve the entire puzzle, I think. The first thing I want to do is chase this 0, 5 situation around to get my V's colored. So this 0, 5 sees that cell, which means this is a normal low digits for a V. Same here, those are 1, 2, 3, 4s as well. This 1, 2, 3, 4 sees the green, both green low digits, so those are going to be pink. These pink digits see those, so they'll be green. This V already sees 3 low digits, so it's going to have to be 0 and 5, which means this is going to have to be a normal V, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it sees that green, so it's going to be pink. This V sees that 0, 5, so it is going to be a normal 1, 2, 3, 4, as is this one. That cell right there sees the 0, 5 pair, so it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning that has to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I left the 4 off of that. Okay, now we already have all of our low digits in this box. So this V can't get a 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be a 0, 5. Same for that one. Now that cell is consecutive with that. So 0 would be consecutive with 1. 5 would be consecutive with either 4 or 6. That's not quite as good. What's next? Have we got all our V's? There's a couple V's here. These V's are also normal V's because there's a 0, 5 here. So both of those are our two different flavors of 1, 2, 3, 4. And this, okay, let's check this out. Look here. We already have 3 lows in that box. But this X also needs a low digit. So the question is, what's this digit? Naively, it can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's the digits that we have available that could be consecutive with that. But we can't use 1, 2, 3, 4 there, because one of 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, and 3 of them are there. So this is not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 0 and 5. That means that this digit right here cannot be 2 or 3. So this is a 1, 4, and that is a 6, 9. If that cell is 1, 4, that means that these are not 1, 4, they are 2, 3. That 2, 3 looks down there, takes 2, 3 out of there. That means that this X is a 1, 4 flavored X, and the 1, 4 can't be there because of that 1, 4 pair, so that's a 1, 4, that's a 6, 9. Or a 9. That 1, 4 also looks there and makes that a 2, 3 pair. This is a 7, 8. And this is a high digit, maybe. Let's see. Here, let's look at this row first to make sure we know what's going on up here. There's 2 low digits there, 1 low digit there. That makes 3 low digits. There's another low digit on that X. That means this has to be a 6, 7, 8, 9, meaning that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we actually know that its color is green, so that is green. But more importantly, now we have the digits 0 through 5 across there, which means that is 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're missing a 0 or a 5 in this box. Okay, what's next? Okay, here we have another similar kind of thing. We've already got 3 of our low digits. 1 of the low digits goes there. That low digit's color is pink because we have our 2 greens there. The pink low digit can't go there because of those 2, so that has to be the low digit. This is a pink high digit. This then cannot be a low digit. It has to be a high digit. And this is a low digit. But I don't think we can know the color of that yet. Here we have a high digit. And here we have a high digit. And here we have a low digit. Can we get the color here? Yes. This is green. There's a green 1, 2, 3, 4, a green low. So this is pink because both of those see that green. So that means this whole little trail is pink. This is green. What else do we have? Let's keep looking at these X's. This is going to be, this X sees both of the green. So its low is going to be a pink. The low can't be there because that cell sees all of the low digits. So that's going to be a pink 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a high pink. Let's go fill out the rest of these X's, shall we? Think about how to do that. There is a 6, 9's got to go there. Here we have the similar thing that we had in box 3. One of the lows has to go on this X, but we already have 3 of them. And we have 2. It has to be a green because we already have the pinks. So this is a green domino. The 2 green lows look there, so that's where green low goes. That's where that goes. Now we've got all 4 of the lows, which means this one has to be high. And we know what color it is because we already have all of our pinks. So that's green. That's also green. That's also green. That one is a high digit. This one is a low digit. If we look across here, we see low digit, low digit, low digit. So there's a low digit there to make our 4th digit, means that that cell is a high digit. And this is a low digit. Can I tell what color it is? I don't think so. Up here we have all of our 0 through 5s again. So these are high digits. And this is the 2, 3 flavor of the X. And the 2, 3 goes there. And so that is a 7, 8. Can we tell what color it is? Somehow. Have we covered all of our bits? Yes. Where? This is interesting right here. These 2 cells, let me flash them with orange. Both of these orange cells are the same number, because these 2 sum to 10 and these 2 sum to 10, which means these 2 have sum to 10 with the same number, so they have to be the same number. And that's good because right here we have a 2, 3 pair, and those are different numbers. Yep. So if this is the same number, it cannot be 2, 3, because both of the orange cells see both 2 and 3. So these can't be 2, 3. They are 1, 4. And that means that all of the pink cells are either 1, 4 or 6, 9. So this little trail right there, I think seems like the key to this whole thing. Let's see. So I'm going to select all of my pinks, and I'm going to get rid of 2 3s and 7 8s out of those. And then I'm going to select all of my greens, and I'm going to get rid of 1 4s and 6 and 9. Whoops, out of all of those. And so then we can color some more of this stuff. Green, that's all pink. That's pink. Okay. Now what? Oh, here we go. Now that we did that, we've created a 1 4 pair across there and a 1 4 pair across there. Both of those 1 4 pairs look at that cell, which is a 1 4 6. Cannot be 1 and 4 anymore. It's a 6. That means that we can start resolving all this pink stuff. So that's a 9, 1, 4, 1, 9, 4, 6, 1, 9, 1. 6 looks up, makes it a 9, 1, 4, 1. Should all come quite quickly now, I think. 4, 1, 9. Up here, we've got a 4 and a 6. Let's see. This one gives me a 4 and a 1. And can we get into this piece? Yes, this one gets me a 4, 1, 6. Now we got these dots. This 6 gives me a 5, 0. 0 comes down, 5, 0, 0, 5. That 0 looks over, 5, 0. Do they keep going? Yes, this 5 looks over. Well, the 1 also tells us. Anything else that's connecting? I don't see anything else connecting. So now up here, this can't be 6. Whoops. This can't be 6, which means this that has to have an odd and an even, so it has to have an 8. So that can't be an 8 anymore. And it can't be a 9, so that is a 7. That 7 is going to kick us off in the green flavor, because now that's an 8, 9, like that, 8, 9. Then that 8's going to give us a 2 and a 3, which is going to keep going, I think. 2, 7, this 2 looks over, 3, 7, the 7 looks down to there, 8 connects to a 2 and a 3. The 2 makes that a 3, 7, 8, 2. The 3, 7 means this is a 2, 8. That's a 3, 2. Oops, 2. Okay, what else do we need to do? That cell is not a 7 or a 6 or a 9. So it is an 8, which makes that a 2. This is not a 6 or a 7. So this is all, and it's also not a 9, so that's an 8. I think we're all in cleanup now, where we just need to go back to our pencil marks and clean up. I did that wrong. That's not an 8 from there. It's not a 9 from there. And it's not a 7. So that is a 6, 4. That's not a 6 or 9 because of those two. So that's a 7, 8, and that's not a 6 or a 9 because of there and there. So that's a 7, 8 pair. What goes here? It's either a 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's either a 6 or a 7, right? Yes, it's either a 6 or a 7, but that's a 7, 8 pair. It tells us that that's a 6. What goes in here, I guess? It could be a 3 or a 7 or an 8. Correct. But that 7, 8 pair tells us that that one is a 3. So that's not a 3. That's a 7, 8, which is resolved by that 8. So that is a 7. Whoops. A 7. This row could be a 4 or 6. But there's a 6 right there, so that's a 4. And what goes here? It's either an 8 or a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 in the 0, but there's an 8 in the box, so that is a 7. Okay, I had a quick interruption there, so I had to pause the video. Hopefully BremSter can put a quick edit in there, but we're almost done here, so let's finish this up. Let's look right up here. To this row, we could have, what's missing? We've got either a 0, 5, 6, 7, or an 8, but we have a 5, 0 there, so that is an 8, which fixes this as a 7 and an 8, and there's a 5 in the box, so that is a 0. This column could take a 6 or a 9, but there's a 6 right there, so that's got to be a 9. Where to next? Right here in the middle, we could have a 5 or a 0, but there's a 0 right there, so that's going to have to be a 5. This could be a 3 or a 7, which I don't see how that resolves quite yet. Okay. Here. This could be a 0 or a 5, which looks okay. Here we could need, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it could be 5, 6, or 8. There's a 6 and an 8 in this row, so that's a 5, which makes that a 0, and there's an 8 in the box, so that is a 6. What goes here? We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need a 7 or a 9, but there's a 7 in the box and in the column, so that's a 9. What can go here? Not a 3 and a 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, or 5, or 0, 5. Those are the choices. 0, 1, 5. Okay, now we've done everything, but you know what I haven't done for this entire solve is look anywhere for the negative constraint. That might have been easier if we would have looked for a negative constraint. And I can see right here, this cell can't be a 3 because then those would be 5. So that has to be a 7. And this can't be a 2 because that would add to 10. This can't be a 3 because that would add to 10. So we have to put our 2, 3 like that. And, oh, and there's a 0 right here. That's even easier. 5, 0, 5 to finish. 166 solves on that one. 27:51, but I had about 2 or 3 minutes. I had to pause. Yeah, pretty much did that puzzle all the way through with no negative constraint until right at the end there to, I guess, get that pair and to distinguish what would go in that cell. Really, we could have just done that pair and it would have told me what went in that cell. So, yeah, a slightly tricky, I found that slightly tricky coloring puzzle at to get to the end here, and to make people happy, let's go ahead and color this all up, and let's give these guys some kind of color. So there we go. The 10:05 to Chicago by the Bard. Thanks for sticking with me through that. Leave some comments below if you saw something that I missed. Try to make them kind. And if you haven't, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Ask one of your friends to subscribe to the channel. BremSter doesn't usually ask, but please like, subscribe, make a comment, do all those good YouTube algorithmic things. And that's all for now.